What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-host. Like Patrick's brother, John, the words she makes up are impetuous. It's the one and only Teresa.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Look at you opening up with these fancy words you can barely pronounce.
It's not a fancy word. It is a made-up word.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I've never heard this. Say it again.
Impetuous.
What?
I think he was trying to say.
What is it supposed to mean?
I think he was going for impeccable. When him and John were suit shopping, and he's like, "Why do you even need to send photos to Thais? My style's impetuous." Last episode you had Tabasco.
Oh, I forgot about Tabasco.
And this week we have impetuous.
But at least the Basco makes sense.
Impetuous, I get what he's saying. I don't know. I know.
Do you? Is it a Boston thing?
I don't know what the U.S. part is. Glamorous, maybe? What impeccable and what could impetuous be?
I don't know. I think John was just drunk.
Impeccable and glamorous. Yeah. Fabulous. I think
You're welcome, America.
You understand people who make up words. I think that's, you speak John. You speak make-believe words.
I love making up words. You know that. You speak the words too.
Our friends do too. We recently got a review, and I won't read it because I go in consecutive order, just to be fair.
Consecutive.
That's not a made-up word. But the review is like, I come for the made-up words.
Oh,
that
fun.
Teresa comes up with, yeah. So, what's up, guys? Here we are, a little bit late, but we promised we'd get it to you this week. We're doing it.
You know what they say, better late than never.
Better late than never, and so we are giving it too late, but we hope that's okay. We're going to have a lot of content coming at you guys in rapid fire.
Yes, and then we'll be back next week, as usual.
Yeah, we're going to drop this episode on Friday, and then there'll be another episode on Monday.
On Monday. So if you guys don't listen over the weekend, and I don't blame you because I don't either.
If you go to the gym or something, you might throw on a pod.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But if you guys are...
Or a road trip.
Very true. Okay, I'll take it back. You might listen.
Shout out to our friends on a road trip right now. What's up? Where are you guys going?
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is that I'm the type of a person who listens to podcasts while driving.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So, yeah, whatever you guys up to, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're not too mad at us for putting this out a little late.
Don't be mad. You guys know we were traveling.
Life happened. Life happens.
You say it like it's a bad
time.
thing. You're like, life happened.
No, it was an amazing thing. Again, I keep saying this over and over, but we did go to Czech and traveled a bit around Europe, and we visited my family. And it was beautiful and amazing. And I really needed this time. And I was kind of unplugged. So just trying to focus on the fam. But we're back. I'm plugged in.
We watched about 6 hours of reality TV on the plane.
Oh, my gosh.
And in the airports. And I really wondered what the people around us thought. Like, why are they writing a dissertation on reality TV? Why are they taking notes? Like,
I know.
If you didn't listen to reality podcasts or, I don't know, movie review podcasts, you'd watch someone watching a movie or a show
and taking
notes about it and going, these people are clinically insane. And then if they heard the podcast, they would go, oh, they're definitely insane. But I was just thinking about the people behind. Luckily, they were older.
I don't even know who was sitting behind us. But
I looked back because I was like,
there was a young dude behind you.
There was a young dude, but he was asleep.
Oh, okay.
He was asleep the entire time, and next to him were, I don't know, probably a couple in their 70s, I want to say. And so they probably couldn't even read what was happening on my computer.
I kind of like if we did it because we killed the 9-hour-long flight.
Yeah.
Just watching and taking notes. And I only managed to watch one movie. I usually watch like 4.
Look at you.
Yeah, I only watched 10 Reasons Why I Hate About You. What is it?
10 Things I Hate About You?
Oh, yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You. One of my fave.
Anyway.
One of my fave.
Guys, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod, because that's where we're keeping you updated with our scheduling, and we give you a sneak peek of our viewing party on the plane. So that was all happening on social media at Married to Reality Pod. Make sure you're following us there. Also, if you haven't seen and we announced it on Instagram and elsewhere. If you haven't seen, the Patreon's on fire right now.
Oh my gosh, I love the Patreon.
We got a Patreon. It is in full swing. It is on fire. Everyone's talking about it. That's not true. Just Therese and I are talking about it. But
for sure.
if you're not on it, get on it because it's happening. Okay, we just dropped our first video podcast.
Yes.
This week. So that took up some time. We had to figure that out. And so that's another reason this is delayed because we made a commitment. We made a promise. We said this week will be the first week of the video pod. And so we kind of had to figure that out and we prioritized that and we figured it out. And I think it came out nice.
I liked it. I should have brushed my hair, but
you looked great. Stop it. You're being so vain.
Thank you.
You're being so vain.
I just feel like I said it kind of as a joke that I was giving you guys the real experience when I podcast, but it wasn't a joke. That's how I look when I podcast.
I stepped up.
Very cash. You stepped up.
I stepped up. I'm now back to my mesh shorts and undershirt, but it's because I get so hot. I get so hot when I podcast, and I felt the need to put pants on to be a little more professional, but it was so hot. We're going to figure it out, but check it out. If you're on the Patreon, we hope you watched it. We hope you liked it. If you're not on the Patreon, get on that Patreon. You can see the video podcast on the Family Affair level. It's
Family Affair.
It's Seeking Sister Wife, if you guys
Yes.
aren't aware. And then the Cousins Club, the middle tier, you can get the audio of Seeking Sister Wife. And then the Family Affair, again, the video tier, there's going to be a bonus episode. We do one a month. It's a video podcast, also an audio component to it if you just want to listen to it on your phone or whatever. But that's coming very soon, the bonus episode. So get on there. The Patreon is on fire, so come be a part of that.
And so are Sister Wives.
I hate to say it's my favorite show right now.
I hate to say that it's my favorite show, and I didn't expect it. That's why it's so fabulous, because it literally hit me right in the face, and I was like, whoa. Because I know it's kind of silly to say, but it's not, because I'm learning. I had no idea this even existed. I mean, yes, I did know people live plural lifestyles, right? But I knew nothing about it. It's almost like I hate to say this, but it's like an educational show in a way.
It's
crazy educational.
It's educational, but first and foremost, it's entertaining. And I said it on the pod. I'll say it again. It's so real. It's so raw. You see, this isn't producer driven. This isn't, okay, we want to have you guys go to a rug store and shop for rugs. There's enough real drama in these families' lives that you don't need.
I love it.
You don't need anything else. You just point a camera at them and they go.
I love it.
And where they go is so entertaining.
And again, don't get us wrong, we still love 90 Day.
Oh, yeah.
90 Days on fire
and we watched MAFS. We haven't potted about it yet, but that's coming up very soon. So that looks like it's going to be a good season. So we love it all. Listen, we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. But just the Seeking Sister Wife is, woo. Come on. Why isn't that show 2 hours?
Because we would not be able to do anything else.
That's very true. All right. So you are following the Instagram. Maybe you're checking out the Patreon. Thank you to everyone who is a patron. You guys are the best. Thank you for the support. And also just follow the podcast here, because this is where most of the podcasts are happening. This is where 90 Day is happening. This is where Below Deck's happening. This is where MAFS is happening. All Seeking Sister Wife, that's on Patreon, video, audio, the bonus. That's over there, but still a lot going on here. So make sure you're following us here. It's so easy to follow the podcast. All you got to do, look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash like it's as hot as the castle that Eve wants to marry it.
We saw our fair share of castles.
But the
in
real
Europe.
castles.
America
has no real castles. Let's just be honest.
What's the medieval times? You remember that was like the medieval times.
Yeah, we saw castles from the 11th and 12th centuries.
No, I'm talking about the restaurant experience medieval times. That's in Jersey or other states.
Oh, wait, what? Pause.
Yeah,
What?
medieval times.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's called medieval times. It's like a drinking restaurant experience where you watch people fake joust.
Fake what?
Joust. No?
Are you speaking English?
I'm speaking
medieval
medieval
English.
Speaking medieval times. I could be wrong. I've never been. I've just seen it in movies and heard some people talk about it. But
That's interesting, I guess.
yeah,
but
we'll look into it.
you got to experience the real medieval times.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Loved it. Okay, and last but not least, if you haven't left a review, if you could do that, it means the world to us. And we got a review that I would like to read.
Yes.
Okay. 5 stars. We read the 5-star reviews on this podcast, and we got one from our friend, It's Me, Judas.
Hello, it's me, Judas.
Hello,
it's
Judas.
me, Teresa.
Hello, it's me, John. And they write, I'm hooked. Okay, 5 stars. I'm hooked. Started listening after the collab with the Reality Gaze, and I'm hooked.
Woohoo!
Going back to listen to old episodes to see their perspective on maths and 90 Day. We got someone going back to
Love
to
it.
the archives.
And shout out to the gays because
Shout out Maddie Poodle.
they're awesome.
Love
and
those
we had
boys.
so much fun with them.
Yes, so thank you. It's me, Judas. We are happy you are here. We are happy you are hooked. And yeah, come along for this ride.
Yeah, crazy, crazy ride ahead.
All right. That's it. One other thing about the Patreon, there's no housekeeping on the Patreon.
That's true.
So if you're like, why did I just listen to 10 minutes of nonsense? Well,
It's not nonsense. It's,
No, it's
important
important. It's
stuff,
important.
and we chat in between.
and let me just say this because it is. I say it's nonsense. I'm just kidding. It's nonsense for a lot of our friends because they know it and they do it. They're the best. We love them. They follow the social media. They follow the podcast. But we're a growing podcast, and I still think of us as a new and a young podcast.
Very young.
And we're picking up listeners each week, and so it's for them. It's for our new friends.
Yes,
And
for
that's,
sure.
And that's why we do it. And so if you're an old friend of ours and you skip ahead the 10 minutes, that's fine. That's fine if you do it, as long as you're already following the social media and the podcast. That's fine. This is for the new friends. All right. Should we do a little 90 Day, by the way?
Totally. One of my favorite segments.
All right. Number 1. We just said we were just traveling. We just got back from Europe. All things considered, a pretty smooth trip. There were a lot of flights, a lot of airports. All things considered, pretty smooth. Not for one of our 90 Day cast members, though. Okay, do you know what I'm about to tell you?
Pedro
No.
and Chantel.
No, I'm talking about traveling.
Oh.
Yeah, Pedro and Chantel are probably getting divorced. I don't
think
know.
they
That's-
are, but-
That's not my, by the way, I think we've all seen that, but no, one of our cast members didn't have the smoothest travel
Oh.
week. Okay. There's a video circulating of Angela
Going to
Going-
Nigeria?
not going nowhere, going going back home because she was escorted off the plane after going full Karen, which I now want to coin a new term, just saying going full Angela.
I was just going to say, why do you even say Karen?
Yeah, she was going full Angela.
Gee.
There's this video going around of her. She's in an altercation, an interaction with
With
a
who?
flight attendant.
What
and-
airline? Because she's going to be banned.
I don't know. I don't want to offend any airline, so I'm not even going to throw out names.
Okay.
But
I was gonna, but I'm not going
probably
to.
not Delta, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Although maybe Delta, because she was probably flying out of Atlanta.
I see her.
Don't even
yeah.
say it. Don't even say it. We flew a couple questionable carriers this trip.
What
so
are you
don't-
talking about?
Don't even say it.
We never fly questionable carriers because you would not get on it.
That's true. That's
So
no question.
Don't downgrade us.
right.
When we fly, we fly.
All right,
We fly
so-
economy, but we fly.
Yes. So she was in this altercation. Okay, this video was first posted to Reddit by a user named Amera, Amerra, and you can hear Angela in her classic voice, and she's like, "You're not going to talk to me like this. You're not law enforcement. Get who you need to get because you started this shit."
Oh,
She is-
jeez.
And I don't know what caused this incident. Nobody knows what caused this incident. Maybe she was trying to light up a cigarette before they took off. You can't do that anymore, Angela. Not sure if you know, but I'm curious. I would like to know more.
I'm so curious.
If you guys know, call in. Let us know what happened, what led to this.
But you also know that her patience wears thin.
Oh,
Very, very thin.
yeah.
Almost as thin as her.
She's getting thin. Good for her. The only other thing I was thinking about as I was reading this story is, can you imagine her going through security at the airport, just taking everything out of her bra and putting it in the bins.
Well, I don't think she does it anymore because her boobs, she got the boob reduction.
There's not much storage.
Yeah.
Probably needs a fanny pack.
Like it was literally, her boobs were so big. That's why she was storing everything. But
Store it, yeah. Some people store things at home in a chest. Like a chest of drawers. She also stores things in a chest.
She needs a fanny pack.
Her chest.
Fanny packs are back.
All right. That's, by the way, number one, Angela.
Classic
you
Angela.
never cease to amaze us. Okay. Number two, and sort of relevant to Angela and Michael. If you haven't heard, Happily Ever After, it's back. It's returning Sunday, August 28th. Teresa knows. We talked about it on the Patreon episode. We did a little 90-day segment on the Patreon episode, but it's back, and the cast is questionable.
Yes, it is questionable. I don't understand a few of the cast members, returning cast members, but I'm going to hope for the best because I do
expect the
like
worst.
Happily Ever After.
I love Happily Ever After.
I hope it will be good, but cast members like Jenny and Samit.
Okay, so let's go through the cast members, and I just have a little blurb about what their storyline is going to be.
How do you know?
There was an article. I can't give credit to who because I didn't write it down, but there was an article that mentioned all the cast and a little story, a little storyline. Jenny and Samit, you said, so they tied the knot. We saw them tie the knot, but Samit's family disapproves of this. So he's going to try to repair the fractured relationship with them amidst the refusal to accept the marriage. And Jenny's growing homesick. So I think this is a rerun.
Jenny's going home?
No, she's getting homesick. But this might be a rerun. I don't think this is anything new. Okay?
I thought that Samit's going to try to have a baby with Jenny.
Oh, that'd be interesting. No. Speaking of babies and last eggs, Angela and Michael. They're returning.
Can he come to the U.S.? Like, if she's going to Nigeria again, that's just silly. Yeah. Like, she should either move to Nigeria or get his ass over here somehow. I know it's tough. I know it's been tough during COVID with visa and immigration, but it's not impossible.
I don't think he is going to make it here. It says Michael's facing ongoing visa issues.
Oh, my God.
This might be a rerun as well. And is still in Nigeria. Angela is reeling from his neglectful behavior. He's back on social media, and he's blocked Angela.
Oh, my God.
So she's freaking out. And she's in need of some support now, so she begins a flirtatious friendship with a man she meets online.
Get out of here.
And she's considering meeting this man in person.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine if Michael needed some support of a lovely lady?
So is this like Angela getting a new lover?
I think that's what we're being led to believe.
Well,
I'm
kind of here for this.
I'll watch that, I guess.
I'll watch that too.
Okay. Libby and Andre are also making a return.
Okay.
This is interesting. Libby is considering a career change to pursue her passion for music. For music, Teresa. As a fellow musician yourself, we all heard you play the recorder on last week's episode. How do you feel about this?
I think she should not.
I also think she should not. Although we've never heard anything.
That's very true. But I think it's, let's say she's an amazing singer. I think it's still it would be tough to lose the reality star sticker and become a serious singer.
Yeah. I don't see it. Well, Darcy and Stacey.
I don't see her singing. She never sung. I mean, Darcy and Stacey. That's not singing. Let's just clarify.
That's very true.
Not singing.
It's almost like dolphins communicating, but not singing.
It is so like dolphins.
Yeah. And there's two of them. Like dolphins usually go in pairs. That's Libby and Andre. We got Joe and Yar coming back, which I'm happy to see. They're a nice couple.
Yeah, but I don't want them on Happily Ever After.
Yar is entertaining, I think.
She is, but I don't want to see any drama.
You stop right there.
What?
Because I just looked at my notes. This is going to be your favorite segment this season.
Is she going to like work with seals?
Yara is combating postpartum insecurities following the birth of baby Mila, putting some strains on her relationship with Jovi. She's also combating homesickness.
Okay.
But plans of a visit to Ukraine are thrown into turmoil following Russia's invasion of the country. Okay. So the couple decides to travel to Prague, where Yara's mom resides. They're going to the Czech Republic.
We love the Czech Republic.
We love the Czech Republic. We love Prague.
I guess Yara's mom Fled.
She fled. Yeah, she went to Czech.
Yeah.
So we're going to finally get some Czech action.
Nice.
Check it out.
Let's get some Czech action.
We're going to Czech this
Sweet.
season. We're going to Czech this
Sweet.
season. All right. On a more depressing note, Kim and Usman are making their return.
I don't mind that.
I hope she at least got some new T-shirts, some new Soulja Boy T-shirts.
Okay, is she going back to Africa? I guess she is.
Kim travels to Nigeria to propose to Usman. She's
my gosh.
proposing,
Okay, I'm kind of here for it.
but neither of the families support this potential union. The drama's intensified once Kim learns that Usman's family is determined to set him up with a younger woman.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay. And last but not least, the most questionable of all, Big Ed and Liz.
Why?
They're ready to walk down the aisle, but there are some trust and control issues that threaten their journey to the altar.
Who wants to see that? Seriously.
I don't know. And that's the question. We haven't covered them in the past. We didn't cover them on the single life. I don't know what we're going to do here.
I think we'll cover them.
You think we're going to cover them?
You know why? I know a lot of people hate him, including myself.
It's not hate. It's that he's done some very questionable things.
He did, but to Liz.
No. Prior to Liz, there was domestic violence and sexual assault accusations.
Well, I am aware of it, but then he did some questionable things to Liz.
That we know about.
Yeah.
I always say innocent until proven guilty. I'd like to abide by that law. We heard with our own ears the assault, the verbal assault on Liz. I don't know. We do this podcast for you guys, so I'd actually want to hear from you guys. Do you want to hear us talk about them or not?
That's true. We can put up a poll, but I would honestly talk about them.
Yeah, I don't know.
TLC can cancel people, and they have in the past.
Well, that's the thing is we could boycott them till we're blue in the face, and it's clearly not doing anything.
Yeah.
So at some point, you just go, all right, well, we're covering a show. Let's cover the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That's how I feel about
whatever you.
We'll put up.
I want to do what our friends. I want to do what our friends want.
I totally agree with you. Let's put up a poll and see what our friends think, and we'll take it from there.
We always said if we can have fun talking about it, we'll talk about it. And so it might be a case of, well, let's watch and let's see what's happening. If there's something we can talk about, we can talk about it. But whatever you guys want, we're here for you guys. Okay? That's by the way.
Woo! Ready, Freddie?
Yes, Frederick. Season 9, episode 13, Sunday night, 90-day fiancé. Let's do this thing.
Let's do this. All right. Let's start with Thais and Patrick and John.
Brother John. 30 days to wed. Thais still hasn't told Dad about getting married, so tensions are still high.
Yes, but Patrick, as the bride that he is.
Oh boy. Well, he is sounding a little bit like a bride here.
Yeah.
With this whole
That's why I said it.
222.
That's why I said it. You just killed my joke.
Oh, I thought you made a mistake.
No, I said Patrick as the bride that he is, but I said that she is. You just killed my joke.
You shouldn't have corrected yourself. You shouldn't have corrected yourself. Let the joke set.
Okay. Patrick as the bride that he is.
Yes.
He's planning this wedding for 2/22/2022. That's kind of cool.
2022.
February 2nd, 2022.
Yeah.
And
Super cool.
because 22 is Patrick's lucky number.
Which is what we learned this episode. And also what I think Thais learned this episode. I don't think she knew.
No.
For a guy who's basing his entire relationship and wedding around this date and this number, it seems like it was a secret to his fiance until now.
Well, I think they don't know a lot of things about each other. And Patrick, because he's so set on this date, he's willing to get married in Orlando where his family is vacationing just so they can be there.
He's kind of crashing. He's kind of crashing his family's vacation.
The vacation. And he's like, well, my brother is gonna be on vacation with his family, and my sister Tiffany, she's probably gonna go to Orlando around that time.
Yeah.
So why not just
Mickey
go to Orlando?
and Minnie will be there also. Like the whole gang's gonna be there.
I think it's a little silly, although Orlando in February is probably nice.
It's probably the time you want to be there.
Yeah.
But you're crashing your family's vacation.
Because of the date.
They could have they're going on vacation. They could have they've taken the time off. They could go wherever if you're having a wedding, but you're going to go crash it there. And his reasoning to me is kind of selfish because he goes, I want my family to be there. They can't travel all the time. Well, Thais's family definitely can't be there.
Well, they cannot because they don't know about it.
Right. And that's the flip side of that argument.
Yeah. So I don't even consider her, or I don't feel bad for her and her family that like, oh shit, her family cannot be there. They don't know that she's getting married. So that's a whole different animal over here.
Yeah. She'll probably just be like, oh, you guys want to go to Disney? Dad, you want to go to Disney? And they're like, surprise, we're getting
Florida. Woohoo.
Surprise, we're getting married.
But why I did feel bad for Thais was because this was the moment she learned about the plans. About the 2022, about the Orlando wedding, about all of it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even think she knew 22 was his lucky number. So she's finding all this information out.
But he said, I'm asking you now. I didn't book it yet.
Right.
Like, this is the conversation. I'm not telling you that, oh, this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you this is what I would like.
Yeah. There's so many parts to this conversation that I don't think it's wrong to be like, hey, I really like this date. What do you think about this date? That's fine. But then the follow-up to that was, we're going to do it in Orlando because my family's there. That's where it's like, whoa, how about, I really like this date. What do you think about this date? Yes, cool. All right. And then let's go from there.
Yeah. They need to communicate more about a lot of things.
Yeah. So she's not pumped about it and feels like he's making all these decisions himself. And he basically verbally throws his credit card at her again when he says, I'm paying for it. So he thinks that gives him the ability to make the decisions because he is paying for it.
He loves showcasing his money.
He loves showing it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little disgusting.
It is. I don't think she's having it, but...
No.
Well, she's going to go out with friends. We didn't even know she made friends, but apparently did. When John had the party, the wild party, she actually got to talk with some of the girls.
Yeah, this makes no sense to me.
Right? Like she was like hating them. She was making out with Patrick. I didn't even see these two girls at the party.
I didn't see these two girls at the party. I saw the girls that she called ugly at the party. And yeah.
She did not. Patrick did.
Oh, that's right. Did he?
He said all these girls are ugly.
Oh, I thought she made a comment too.
No, it was her.
She made a comment. She made some comment, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Patrick called the girls ugly.
Okay.
But she has these two friends out of nowhere, Nadia and Kyla.
Yes.
Kyla is the blonde one, and Nadia is the Brazilian one who speaks Portuguese.
Yes.
So that's a bonus.
Yes.
Added to this friendship. Kyla looks very European. So I don't know what's her story, but she has no accent.
No, she spoke perfect English. I think they're from some modeling agency in Texas. How would John know these guys?
I don't know. I don't think they're from modeling agency, but
they're not the ugly ones.
I don't think any of these girls were ugly.
No, they weren't. I'm just saying. I didn't see them at the party. Maybe we should go back and look. We should have gone back and looked.
We should, but they're drinking at the bar, and for some reason, I didn't think that Thais drinks.
Oh no, they went to the brewery together.
Yeah, but she didn't like the beer.
She didn't like the beer. I think she had something else.
Well, she's talking to her friends, her new friends, right?
Yeah.
And talking about the wedding and basically telling them some crazy things about Patrick, how he controls her, how he even set up the makeup and hair for her wedding. Yeah. But like later on, what Patrick says actually makes sense.
It makes complete sense. Yeah. She's spinning this story that he's
the control freak who does everything.
He's so controlling that he chose the wedding date, chose the time and place, and then went and just booked hair and makeup for her.
But that's not the story.
No, the story is she sent him or found someone she liked.
And he booked it for her.
Told him about it. And then, yes.
Because he has the money.
Because he can book it. What they talk about later, I kind of disagree with, which we can get to. But it was basically Patrick saying, well, you don't speak great English. You can't really make these plans and arrangements. So that's why I'm doing it. But there's a thing called speakerphone. There's a thing called conference call. You could sit in a room together and call a venue.
True.
You could call a makeup artist. And I mean, that's what we do when we're in Czech is you translate for me.
Yeah.
I'm still there. I'm still part of it. So I don't like that argument of you're not fluent in the language, so you can't be a part of it. No, do it together.
You're always part of it. You were part of our visit to the city hall.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
In Czech, and I translated everything from the lady for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But back to this girl's day out. She eventually, Thais comes out and tells her friends that my family doesn't even know that we're planning on getting married.
Friends are shocked, as we all are, because it's silly. You're engaged. You're engaged. And if you have a close relationship with your dad that you claim you do, why don't you tell him?
You're engaged and you traveled from another country. It's not like you're just engaged down the street and, yeah, we'll get around to telling. It's like you uprooted your life and moved to a new country and you're not telling your family the real reason why.
And also, you have an engagement ring. What did you do with it in Brazil?
When did she get it?
I'm sure he proposed to her a while ago during one of his visits in Brazil.
Yeah.
Was she hiding it from her dad?
Maybe she was wearing it on like a different finger or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But this whole thing is just a little weird. But what I found, not weird, but rude, is that she was speaking pretty good English, right?
Yeah.
So everyone could understand. And all of a sudden, she switched to Portuguese. And then Kyla is just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Waiting for Nadia to translate for her.
Oh, I didn't pick up on
Why?
that.
She literally in the middle, she was like, English, 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 and boom, and Portuguese. And that was it. And so poor Nadia was there to be the translator for Kyla, who was left out.
Well, what do you think? As a bilingual speaker, you go back and forth sometimes.
Yeah, to translate for someone who does not speak the language, but she does. Like Thais does. And if there is a word or something she doesn't know how to say, she can ask Nadia, and that's fine, but try to speak English because you are doing it. It's not like you don't speak any. It's not like you are, what's her face, Paul's wife or Karini, right?
Yeah.
Karini spoke no English at the beginning, but Thais does. So she should be trying, and that's how I actually learned English. Just trying to speak it.
I was going to ask if maybe Nadia doesn't speak great English, and so there were things maybe Thais wanted to express that she could only, but I don't know. I think
Nadia spoke perfect English.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, they find out, they're shocked. They can't believe, they think it's insane that her family wouldn't know. But then it gets even crazier to me because Thais is like, I don't even know if I want to get married in the first place.
Because she said, I don't know if I want to marry someone who doesn't allow me to be myself. What is he doing?
He's so controlling.
He's so controlling with all the money.
Again, to me, this argument doesn't make sense. If you want to argue John living in the house,
yeah,
I would be on your side about that.
Yeah, me too.
I could argue both sides because I could see why John is there and he's been there, and just because you moved doesn't mean John has to get out immediately. But if you wanted to pick that argument and say, I can't be married to a man who lives with his brother, when are we ever going to have our space? Or fine, I'll take your side there. But it's just like, he's so controlling, he doesn't let me have my way. I don't see it.
No, I don't either. I mean, yes, he does. He did a few things that were questionable, like throwing the money, mentioning the money, kind of showing the power, right? Yeah, that's kind of...
She's the one that wants to track his cell phone.
Yeah.
That's controlling.
Yes, but I was just going to say what Patrick was doing was fucked up with the money. But other than that, he basically does whatever she wants to do.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. So she basically says, I have two options, go back to Brazil or go forward with the way things are.
Let's see. But Patrick is all in because he's going suit shopping with John.
Brother John, you going to send pictures? Why not be a man? Just get what you want. I'm here. My taste is impetuous. I've got impetuous taste. My vocabulary, not so impetuous. Not an impetuous vocabulary, but my taste. It's impetuous.
He loves shopping with Patrick.
And you can't even blame it on the alcohol this time, I don't think, because he looked kind of sober. John looked pretty sober. I'm sure he had a breakfast beer or two, but he looked pretty sober.
Don't they give you a glass of something when you suit shop?
No.
No?
No, not at
Just
this.
for the brides?
I think this was a sponsored shopping experience, too, because I think it was like Suit Style or something. I didn't write the name down, but I was like, this is definitely a sponsored segment. But they go, they're shopping, and John, of course, curious whether or not Thais has told her dad about the wedding yet. And Patrick optimistically is like, no, but it's coming.
Mm-hmm. But then he said it's been too crazy lately and it's overall been too much and he can't do this forever. Like too much craziness.
Yeah.
But you are marrying her, which basically means I do forever. So when you say you can do this forever,
well,
doesn't make a lot of sense. I get the craziness, but it'll probably be somewhat the same because when you marry someone, things are not going to change as many people think. It's going to be the same when you marry someone as it should be.
Right. And
so if he's like, I'm sorry, but if he's expecting that things will basically randomly become awesome after they say I do, that's not going to happen.
Right. Again, unless her argument was John living there and maybe, yes, he'll move out and things will be better. Yeah, if her issue is the way Patrick is so controlling when we don't really see it, then I don't necessarily see that changing. I think he just wants the BS to subside, which, as John says, you need to talk to Thais. I agree. Communication, conversation can help a lot. Mm-hmm. John says you need to express your feelings. Patrick doesn't understand how people can express their feelings. He's like, I can squat 600 pounds. I don't understand how people are weak as shit. And I don't understand. Some people can express their feelings. I can't. Well, some people can squat 600 pounds because not everyone is on steroids. Patrick.
Burn, Patrick, burn.
That's why. That's why.
Well, I think he is expressing his feelings without even knowing. Like frustration is a feeling.
Yeah, I don't think he's communicating clearly.
They don't communicate
Throwing
at all.
your credit card is communicating. It's not communicating clearly.
No, he thinks it's a power move.
No, I think he did that in frustration. I don't think that was, again, a clear communication of his feeling. I think that was the symptom of what he was feeling. He should have used his words and expressed, which he did kind of try to do, though, when he was saying, we have other things we need to spend our money on. We can't be spending $1,000 on a rug, whatever. Like he was trying to communicate. It just wasn't what Thais wanted to hear.
So yes, he did it out of frustration, which is a feeling.
Yeah. But that's not the feelings I'm talking about.
I know.
Right? I'm talking about, I'm feeling like I would like to have a wedding on this day because it means a lot to me.
But that's how he feels.
You're talking about an emotion. Frustration is an emotion.
Yes.
Not a feeling.
Okay.
Impetuous.
We'll have a conversation about this later.
Impetuous. All right. Noon night, Patrick and Thais, they're in the kitchen. And I thought Patrick said he was cooking, but it looked like a lot of takeout bags around. So
that's cooking too.
Takeout?
Putting it in the bowl?
That's
I'm kidding.
Preparing.
For some people, that's cooking.
That's preparing. So Patrick's wondering how Thais' girls' night out was. And Thais is like, it was good. We talked about your actions and how I hope it's not going to be like this forever. And Patrick goes, I don't think it's fair you're acting like this. You don't speak English. You're not going to call these places. And this is where I was like, that's not the right approach. You could conference call these places.
But once again, they are arguing. AKA, they cannot communicate normally, right?
Yeah.
Because Patrick calls her, oh, you don't speak any English, or your English isn't too good. She calls him that he treats her like a child. Guys, do you really want to get married?
I don't
with
think
a communication like this?
And I would have thought they knew each other better because this is one of the couples, they spent time together.
They did.
He traveled there a dozen times or whatever. They know each other.
They know the vacation mode each other.
True.
They know the vacation Thais and the vacation Patrick.
And the thing you have to remember is now Patrick knows that Thais isn't being honest with her family about getting married. That's hurtful. I would be hurt. If you didn't want to tell your family that we were going to get married, I would be hurt. So this is a hurt person reacting with his emotions because he's hurt for a number of reasons.
I would be very hurt too. And I don't think I would marry you without your parents knowing.
No, I don't think so.
No, because I think it's wrong. Let's say if you had a non-existing relationship,
right.
Sure, that's a whole different story. But if you said, hey, I'm close to my family, but I'm not going to tell them I'm marrying you.
Yeah, it's like, why?
I think I would go through with it.
Are you embarrassed by it?
Exactly.
Do you not think it's going to last? Like, what is the reason? Of course, now that Patrick knows this, and I'm not excusing his behavior because he did some questionable things before he found out about this, but now that he knows this, yeah, that's going to influence everything he does because it's so hurtful. But Thais says, okay, tonight's the night. I'll tell my dad.
Tonight's the night, and we'll see you next time.
And we'll see. All right. Next.
Emily and Kobe.
Cue the dramatic music. 23 days to wed. Kobe's hanging out by himself, and Emily comes in and is like, you want to run an errand with me?
And so they are. Emily mentions that she did return the ring she bought right away. She returned it because she loves the new one.
Yes.
So she finally did something right.
But Kobe's still upset because, again,
as he should be.
Your actions impact people. And even though you return the ring, he still knows you bought it, which means he feels like you can't trust him.
I would be very upset if I was Kobe.
And so he
I
still
think it's
is.
very hurtful too.
He still is. But he's going to go on this errand, even though Emily won't tell him where they're going.
Well,
which is not going to help any trust issues that Kobe has.
Well, she kind of spills the beans. Basically, she said, so I'm late. And I was like, okay, she's a couple days late. It happens. It can mean a lot of things. And then she says, I'm a couple of weeks late. Couple of weeks late?
Jeez. Yeah.
That literally means that you most likely are pregnant or you have some issue that should be looked at.
My period is late and Lavender is all the way in New Jersey, so I thought you could come get a pregnancy test with me. Kobe not thrilled to hear this. He's a little shocked. He's like, you can't be pregnant after all the precautions, like making me sleep in a separate bed this whole time? How?
They're also practicing the pull-out method. Because he doesn't want her to...
Is that a European method? You're like, the pull-out method.
The method. Well, it's the same thing like Brandon and Julia. Julia didn't want to take birth control. Kobe doesn't want her to be on birth control. So they're doing the pull-out method.
It's crazy. This is insanity, okay? Kobe doesn't want her to take it. Okay.
Why?
Because he heard, I don't know from who, I don't know what mommy blogs he's reading, but he heard there were some women who took birth control, and then when they wanted to have kids, it was hard for them to have kids, which I'm sure happens, right?
It can be with anything. If she ever, you can also argue, oh, was Emily drinking in the past? Oh, that can affect. Was she smoking in the past? Oh, that can affect. Like there are so many things.
Sure,
that can affect.
But I get people. Some people don't want to take birth control. I get that. That's fine. But don't put it on Kobe, Emily. You are also responsible for your body. And if you wanted to take birth control, you could. Instead, you went to the App Store and for 99 cents downloaded an app that told you when Kobe can't bust inside you. That was your form of birth control.
Well, if he didn't want her to take birth control and she was taking it behind his back, I think that would be messed up.
Not that, but have a conversation. Say, you don't want me to? Well, I do. Also, there's 54 different types of birth control.
And also, there is this old school thing that we all used when we were younger. It's called condom.
How young, Teresa? Jeez, don't answer that. Don't answer that, Europe. Yeah, there's 1,900
I'm over 30. When I say younger...
20s. Mm-hmm. There's all types of birth controls. If you don't want to take the pill, that's fine. There's other sort of rings and IUDs.
Yes, both rings. I've read the rings are not good.
We're not doctors.
You can bleed for months.
We're not. There's patches and shots and condoms and dental dams.
What?
And I don't know. I'm just saying there's a whole bunch. Didn't you pay attention in 6th grade health class? There's a whole bunch of, there's a whole world out there.
I don't think we had a health class.
Whole world out there, Teresa.
There was just like, I remember we just had one time thing that they came in with bananas and condoms and told us about all kinds of things.
They didn't go with any of those. They went with the pull-out method and like the Google Sex app or whatever Emily downloaded. So Kobe, he's like, I don't know how I can face your family if you're pregnant. And Emily, she goes, you can't even work. The pressure is all on me. No, Emily, the pressure would be on your parents like it is now.
And Dad said, I have one rule only. No more babies.
No more babies.
Boom.
And Kobe can't take over the family business. 2 rules. 2 rules only. Yeah. So they get to the pharmacy and Emily's like, she gets the tests and goes, I don't want to bring these homes. I don't want to bring these tests home. So I want to take the test here. Okay, that's a sign you need to move out. If you can't bring the tests home to take in the privacy of your own home, you need to move out. Okay, forget the kids, whatever. Move out if you can't do something like this in the comfort of your own home.
Also, why does he go inside the bathroom with her while she's peeing on the stick?
That's the least of my worries, okay? It should have stayed in the bathroom, Teresa. Why did she come out into the center of Walgreens with a stick that has just been peed on? She's walking around aisle 3 with a pee stick. Like, oh my God, we're pregnant. Can you imagine we walked into CVS and some woman was holding a stick she just peed on next to the Hershey's bars?
That would be gross.
I would lose my shit. It is disgusting. She's walking around the pharmacy with a pee stick in her hand.
Well, you also cover the stick. It comes with a cover.
I don't care. She just peed on it. It's dripping all over the floor. Some poor lady has
I'm saying you cover it.
I don't know. I've never taken a pregnancy test, but...
Good.
but
well, they now come, like you remove the cover, you pee on the stick, and then you put the cover back on.
Understood.
So it's like a pan.
Okay, understood. So she's like, obviously, we're not telling anybody. My parents, they spent all this money on the wedding. I just want it to be a fun time. We'll tell them afterwards.
That's not a good idea.
She's not going to be able to drink at the wedding.
Yeah.
That's going to be... Oh, maybe she will. She was chugging bottles of Pinot Grigio while she had Coben on her nipple, so I don't even think she...
Oh, yeah.
Remember, she was like literally breastfeeding as she was drinking. And again, not doctors. That could be completely fine.
I have no idea, but yeah.
But I don't think this is going to slow her down. So they find out they're pregnant, and Emily's like, are you happy or not happy? Answer the question. Kobe, I don't know if there's a right answer to this question. I guess you would want any parent to be like, yeah, I'm super happy. But considering these circumstances, if you're being realistic, how could you be happy? He just says, it's just so heavy right now.
And I get it because she has a part-time job. And
she'll remind you. She'll remind you she has a job. She's the only one with a job, Teresa.
And a kid. And a Kobe who cannot work. All he wants to do is to take over the family business. But he doesn't have...
Yeah, not for a lack of effort. He's not working not for a lack of effort. He wants to run that business.
Well,
he just can't.
But he needs to start from the bottom, like we all did.
Yeah. So...
He can work his way up, but he needs to start elsewhere and just to make some money.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's this segment. We got a pregnancy on our hands, and let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens when mom and dad find out.
Dad's gonna lose his shit.
There's only one bathroom in that house.
Wait, there is?
Okay, so that's the rumor going around, or that's what they said at the start of the show.
That's a big house.
There's more. There's 2.5 baths.
Definitely.
I found this.
You found the house?
Yeah, it's 2.5 baths.
Yeah, it's a huge house for one bathroom. That would be silly.
Yeah, plus, he's an architect, right?
Yeah.
Who would design a house with one bathroom?
Or get a toy outside.
That's a European porta potty. I saw it when we were in Europe.
I always call it toy.
Wow. All right. Moving on. From toy toys to boy toys.
Oh, to Cara and our poor little naive Guillermo.
So somehow we got to 2 days to wed.
Right?
I don't understand how.
Some of these guys have 75 days to wed.
Some have 2.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what. Okay. But whatever. 2 days to wed. They're at home. They're putting the finishing touches on wedding planning because it just went from 4 people to 40 people. So there are some things that need to be done.
Like the tiny tequila bottles, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I guess 3-notched craft brewery doesn't have fun-sized IPAs. So they're going to give out little Patrons.
I think that's a nice idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. We all like free booze.
Yeah. And I love when people give away stuff at weddings. I think.
Little mementos.
Yes, I think that's almost a must. I'm always expecting it.
You would like to see something engraved on the bottle or a sticker or some type of tag.
Well, they put a tag on.
Oh, they were putting tags on them. Okay, so that's good. So we find out in the past 3 weeks, because again, we just skipped a whole lot of time, right? In the past 3 weeks, Kara's gone dress shopping, found an officiant, looked at venues, and now they're finalizing the wedding.
Why didn't they show us any of it?
Here's my thought. Do you have a thought?
I don't.
Here's my thought.
Okay.
Did Guillermo go home for his brother's funeral and they're not saying it?
I don't know.
Because we just skipped 3 weeks.
That's
Why?
true.
Why? And then they show these little quick things of like Kara dress shopping, Kara at the venue. I didn't see Guillermo getting a lot of screen time in those segments. Did he go home? And for some reason, they don't want to say it or show it.
But I would expect her to go with him for A, she knew the brother, and B, coming back to the US as they were freaking out before because he has an expired passport.
Maybe she couldn't afford it. She's the only one working.
Oh.
Maybe she went just for the funeral and he stayed with his family for 3 weeks. There's this 3 week.
You're right. That's a good thought. Wait,
right?
Was it 3 weeks to wed last time?
I'd have to go back to my...
I'm going to go back.
But all I know is she said in the past 3 weeks, I've gone dress shopping, found an officiant, looked at venues.
Yeah.
Teresa's going back in her notes. Let's get some scrolling.
And I
music.
obviously did not write it down.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Wait. No. It says they have 3 weeks to plan the wedding. So yes, you're right.
I think
so last time there was 3 weeks to wed.
I think he went to the DR. Because you can get that special excuse. Because you can't travel. If you're on a K1, you can't travel unless something significant happens.
You can. Well, yes, that's very true. When you're on the K1, you can request an advance parole. Same with the green card. I don't know how it's with the K1, to be very honest. But I know when you're applying for your green card, you can also apply for an advanced parole, which means, I have an emergency back home and I need to travel before I get my papers.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let us know your thoughts, guys. I think
that's a solid thought.
I think
that's
you went.
a solid thought.
Wouldn't you go home for your brother's funeral? I just don't know why. I just don't know why they wouldn't tell us that. That's the only thing.
Maybe they did not want to make
Maybe Guillermo was like, I don't. No cameras. No.
Remember, the brother his face was blurred out.
It's got to be it.
I wonder if that's because it was filmed after his passing.
No, because some photos they showed his picture.
Oh, I don't know.
Who knows? It's a lot going on. Here's what we do know. Kara has been doing almost everything herself. She goes, Guillermo hasn't helped with anything, but it's not his fault. I don't trust him.
Well, she also says she doesn't know the town. He doesn't know where to go. And I get that.
I do too.
But like, imagine, I just got off the boat. If I had to say that. I just got off the boat. Very fresh.
It would have been faster to fly, but okay.
Very, very fresh, right? And I've been here for like 2 months. We're planning a wedding. You would probably handle most of it because I would not know what to do. I would not know where to go. I would be very lost. And especially someone, I love Guillermo. He's very sweet, but he's so naive. Would you put him in a charge of anything? I would not.
Okay.
Because he would probably go overboard. Like, he would probably buy something so ridiculously expensive thinking this is beautiful. Like, I would not trust him either. So I'm not holding this comment against Kara.
My only point is the same argument I made with Patrick and Thais. Do it together. His English is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Conference calls, go together. The fact that she said, I've been doing it mostly myself, because Guillermo's been in the Dominican Republic.
That
Come
makes
on.
sense.
Come on.
And I feel like he would want to be involved if he was around.
He was the one who was like, I want this $10,000. Come on. Come on. We're smelling some bullshit here. So, okay. Later that day, Guillermo is at the salon getting his hair cut. We learn he, like myself, very specific about our hair. It took him years to find a stylist he liked. You know, I had the same stylist. I had the same hairdresser. I don't want to exaggerate. How old was I when I moved to New York?
29.
I had the same hairdresser for 29 years.
And okay. So because when I met you, you already had the sides shaved. I like that.
Yeah. So 28, 29 years, I had the same.
I think I met her.
For Tracy.
Yeah, I met her at a sad event at one of the funerals. But
yeah. So I had her because my parents, it's like a nice salon. It's not like I was going to Supercuts or anything from the same person. Nothing wrong with Supercuts, but come on. And my parents went to that salon, so I just started going as a child, and I went for 28, 29 years. One time she was unavailable or sick or something, so another person cut my hair. But so I had basically the same person cut my hair for 28, 29 years. So I get it. It's hard, especially after that long, to change it up. Guillermo finds someone to cut his hair, and you want to get a good haircut before your wedding, so he had to take his time. He finds someone. He's freaking out about it, though. But the hairdresser's like, you know what? I'll calm you down by having a conversation. Hairdressers are like therapists.
I hate it.
Do you?
Oh my gosh. I hate, I love getting my hair done. I hate going
pressure.
to my hairdresser. And I just got a new one because mine quit and went somewhere else, opened her own salon that I went to, and it sucked because she doesn't use the good products anymore that I need for my hair. So I have a new one, and she's super sweet, but my hair takes 4 hours.
Ooh.
After 1 hour, I'm sitting there like, so it's really hot today, right? Like it's supposed to be hot. Is it supposed to be hot tomorrow? It gets so ridiculous that I hate it so much.
That's why we're married, because I don't think anyone else has the neuroses, the anxiety that we do. I mean, maybe you guys do. Let us know if you do. But yeah, for me, the early stages of a new hairdresser, it's like dating, where I'm before the date, before my appointment, I'm thinking of topics to talk about.
You're thinking of topics to talk about with me on our first date?
Yeah, you're like, okay, what can we talk about? We could talk about this, that. Oh, I went here. Talk about that. Like, you want to have a good conversation.
I'm just going with the flow.
Maybe more so with the hairdresser.
That's why I told you about statistics.
Yeah, statistics.
Statistics.
Yeah, for the hairdresser, I'm like, well, okay, I could talk about the trip we just took. I just watched this documentary. That's good. I'm trying to think of things that I could talk about. Otherwise, you're going to sit there for 45 minutes in silence, and it's awkward. Mm-hmm. And this stems from my first hairdresser, who is very close to my parents, and I used to sit in silence. And at one point, when I got old enough, I was at the age I should be having conversation, my parents talked to me and were like, Tracy says you don't talk when you're getting a haircut. And I was like, shit, she wants conversation. So ever since that, I was like, I need to make conversation.
I hate it. So this is my thing. I don't know. I think I would be able to talk to an older person. All these girls are so young, but they're very talented. So I kind of do want a younger person.
Sure.
And this girl is more as my age. I know she's 30 because she told me. And that's great. And we chit-chatted, but the worst thing is that they put the aluminum foil when they do my highlights. They cover my ears. Mm-hmm. So I don't hear her well.
Oh, interesting.
I have an accent, and everyone else is getting their hair due.
It's a logistical nightmare.
Hair dryers just like all over. So sometimes I'm like, oh, this is great. And she's like, oh, you ate a grape? And I'm just... I'm always get so frustrated. I'm just like, yeah,
it's sort of like I don't have the foil in my hair, but when they're drying with a blow dryer and then they're trying to talk to you, it's the equivalent of when you're at the dentist and they have the tools in your mouth and they're trying to talk to you. It's like, I
know.
Can't talk logistically. I cannot speak right now. Just let me relax.
Right? Because you go to the same dentist as me, the cleaning lady at our dentist. She's very chatty.
Yes.
Very chatty. And I'm like, she's cleaning my teeth and just chatting. And I'm like, how do I even answer?
I could do a whole podcast episode about the woman who was taking the x-rays of my teeth. She, spoiler alert, she's never seen 90 Day Fiance because she doesn't own a TV. And that just led me down an entire
But you
path.
said she was really nice.
So sweet. Okay, we need to get back to this.
Oh my gosh.
Guillermo's getting his haircut. He's talking to the stylist, and she's asking how long he's been dating Kara, and he says 3 years. And so she's like, "Oh yeah, it's about time you should get married." By the way, I was married. Didn't work out. Did not work out. Oh, all right. This is what you want to be hearing 2 days before your wedding.
But Guillermo's very positive. He's just asking you for advice. Like, what's your advice? Communication and respect.
One of the 3 C's, one of the Married to Reality 3 C's, communication. The others, of course, being compromise. And the third, which I'm sure they're taking care of, copulation. So
I love how you remember copulation.
that was your contribution. Another C, contribution. Contribute to the relationship, folks. All right. So then he starts telling the stylist how he's fighting with Kara because she is so controlling. Not one of the C's we recommend. She's so controlling over everything, and she likes to party. Quite the party animal.
Well, G, I call him G because I can't spell Guillermo all the time. G is starting to have
some second thoughts?
Yeah, like I wrote down cold feet. I'm not sure if cold feet is the right word, right?
He's getting a little nervous. Well, the stylist says don't expect this stuff to change when you get married. Right? So that's why I was like, oh boy, all right. She's like, you need to communicate. If something bothers you, speak up. That stuff's not going to get better. You're just going to have to learn to accept it.
And Guillermo really took her advice because they're going on a date night.
Oh boy.
Going on a date night, dinner and margaritas.
Couple marks for the table.
I'm always done for that, right?
Yes.
And they're just talking about the wedding, and Kara's looking pretty, and Guillermo is like, okay, the hairstylist says to express myself. I'm going to express myself 2 days before the wedding. And so he is.
He goes, I've been talking to people. You were talking to your hairdresser, but okay. I've been talking to some people about about your partying ways. And the way Kara licked the salt off her margarita glass as Guillermo was talking about her partying ways was everything. Like, she was like, I came to party. She goes, just
I do that too. I can't.
But imagine me being like, Teresa, we need to talk about how much you're partying. And you're just like, just the salt off the side of the glass.
I'm actually surprised you haven't talked to me about
your partying ways.
About not my partying ways, but Europe was out of control.
I mean, come on. Our friends know us.
I climbed out of a wine cellar.
And into bed.
I literally climbed out of there.
Yeah.
My parents were very worried that you're going to leave me. And they had a pep talk because somehow John can hold wine a little better than me.
It's all an act. I was drinking just as much as you were.
That's what I'm saying. And my mom is like, John is so sweet. And he's not even getting drunk like you, Teresa. He's gonna leave you. And I'm like, he's not gonna leave me. I'll follow him.
I'm like, I have the same problem she does, just for some reason you're not picking up on it. You can't tell when I'm slurring my words because you don't speak English, parents.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, so he's bringing this up, and Kara, of course, not happy about it. 2 days before the wedding goes,
who would be?
You should have addressed this before you would even propose. And he's like, well, it feels different now. I think things are different now that we're in the States. It's not like it was back in the DR. There's MC Chris. There's all the breweries. I'm just seeing things differently. And I just need to be respected. You're partying. You're treating me like a kid. You're not giving me my laptop. You just need to respect me. And so Kara feels like, I think he fell in love with the concept of me. But now he's getting cold feet. What is the concept of her? Someone explain the concept besides a woo girl.
She's a woo girl.
She's a woo girl.
I think he fell in love with her, and I mean, she is pretty and she speaks languages and she has.
That's the concept. Yes, that is this
But there is
traveling
something to her.
wanderlust.
Like, there is something to her personality. Like, she's nuts. But there is something to her that I think guys are attracted to.
Her personality is like the only thing I don't like about her. I do find her attractive. I do think it's cool that she travels and speaks multiple languages and is an entrepreneur. Her personality is the only thing I don't like about her.
She has her wise moments, but yeah, sometimes she is a little too much.
Yeah. So she obviously freaks out when she hears this and is like, if you're not sure, don't marry me. She gets up. She's like, we're leaving. You need time to think about this? Let's go.
Which I totally agree with what she did. Like, I would probably feel the same. If
Hell
2
yeah, I'm
days
not gonna
before our
sit
wedding,
there.
you were like, well, I'm having second thoughts. I would be like, well, you better think this shit through.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get up and they leave. All right. That's the segment.
That's the segment.
Should we take a quick break?
Let's do
We'll
it.
take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a couple more couples. We'll round this thing out. Teresa just gave me a strange look on
Because
her
I'm
face.
reading my notes that I took on the plane when I was tired.
Yeah. Oh
And
boy.
my next couple is Bikes and Sheeda.
Bikes is Mohamed. He's Bikes.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on
All
over
right.
here.
I think it's Bilal and Sheeda. But we'll do that when we come back. So we'll be back in a second. And we're back.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Teresa.
How is it going?
Good. Have you corrected your notes?
No, but I know it's Bilal.
Okay. Bilal,
I'm not an idiot.
bikes, and hikes because someone should take a hike in this relationship.
Well, they're taking a picnic instead
They are
at the
taking-
park.
They are taking a picnic.
And Sheida is very excited because Bilal is so romantic.
Super caring,
Is he?
super romantic.
Is
And
he
I had to-
carrying the picnic basket maybe?
I had to think for a second. I was going, what is her first language? Because maybe she's just confusing some words here by calling him super romantic and super caring. And then I remembered English is her first language.
Mm-hmm.
So she's out of her mind if she
Yep.
thinks Bilal is such things.
And first I was like, whoa, they're drinking. But it was a sparkling peach cider because they don't drink. They don't drink.
Right. I wrote down he took out champagne. But okay.
It was a sparkling peach cider.
Well, maybe that's why the relationship is failing.
Because they don't drink.
Not only that, but because they cheers.
Cheers to that.
They toast to new beginnings and being grateful. Everyone knows you don't make toasts if it's not alcohol.
Exactly.
That's bad luck
Very true. Did you learn that from me? I think you did.
from the alcoholic herself.
But that's what we say in Czech.
It needs to be alcohol if we're going to make a toast.
Well, that's what we say in Czech. You do not cheer with anything unless there is.
No, we say that here too.
Some alcohol.
You don't cheer. Like if you have alcohol, I wouldn't cheers you with water. I wouldn't touch glasses. I would hold it to you. I would say cheers, but I would never touch your glass if it's not alcohol.
I hate when they make you cheers with kids. I know the kids don't drink. I never do. I never do that. I never do that. I always pretend, but I never cheer the kids.
It's garbage. Okay, so then Sheida brings up how Sheeda came by and felt like she came by with an agenda to bully and intimidate Sheida in her own house with the whole prenup conversation.
Well, Bilal finally said something that made some sense because he said the prenup is between the two of us. But then he blew it because he says, but marriage is a contract. It's a business.
I don't buy it when he says it's between the two of us. He sent her over there. She didn't just go over
That's true.
on her own accord and go, oh, hey, you're here? Cool, we should talk about this prenup. Bilal sent her over there on a mission because he wasn't getting through to her. He said, you talk woman to woman. Talk wife to ex-wife. Talk about the prenup. And so she did. I don't buy the whole it's just between us. No,
Yeah.
you sent her over there, right?
And I think you might be right.
But he's like, oh my gosh, I'm taken back. She's only said positive things about you. I was hoping you guys would have a good relationship. And she's like, no, she brought up this prenup. It seemed like she cared more than you did. And that's when Bilal goes, yeah, well, that should be between us. Marriage is a contract, but not a business, right? He says marriage is a contract, not a business.
He said it's a business. Or maybe I misunderstood.
He goes, he said it's a business before,
Yeah.
I think. He goes, but this time he goes, marriage is a contract, but not saying it's a business. But then he goes, you need to go into this eyes wide open. Mr. Romance over here, right? This is what you want to do on your park picnic date.
He always
Every
picks
date.
the best timing to discuss things
Every date has been ruined.
because of
The
him.
gondola date, the Ferris wheel date, this date, everything has been ruined because of a
Because he's a
prenup.
moron.
Because he's an absolute moron. So now 35 days to wed. They're at home.
Talking prenups.
It's like a week later, and they're still talking about this, right?
But this time, Bilal is prepared because he hands her the hard copy.
Yeah.
He's like, here is for you to review.
Printed it out, double-sided, double-spaced.
But what is this, your school essay for her to review?
Because when he was on the Ferris wheel, he was like, I know it's kind of small. I'm sorry. So now he's printed it out in 16 size font and he's presenting it to her.
Well, he says that he wants to protect what he had before. But didn't we say that if you don't have a prenup, whatever you had before is not being counted into what you would basically only split what you gain during the marriage, right?
Correct.
So when he says, I want to protect what I had before,
It's protected.
it doesn't make sense.
It's protected. Yeah, for sure. The whole thing is BS. It's a controlling move. It's another test. It's a test of, do you want to be with me or do you want to be with my money? Because if she signs it, oh my God, you proved you just want to be with me. If she doesn't, well, maybe she's here for the money. It's another test. So that's why he's doing it. And Sheeda, obviously not having it, says, I feel like an infant here. And this prenup shows me how hard I'll have to work here in America.
Which I don't like that she said it.
The sentiment was correct. She goes on and she kind of clarifies, and I go, okay, I get what you're saying. The words that came out of her mouth, face value, if she had wrote this down and printed it out in 16 size font, I would go, this is not a good contract. I don't like what I'm reading here. But I get what she's saying. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to be your wife, help with the kids, not be able to focus.
She wants to be a mom.
Right.
She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but with this contract, she'll need to work so she has her own assets. That's
Right.
what she's saying.
Well, she's saying what happens if we do divorce. I've given up my business in Trinidad.
Yeah.
I'd have to basically start from scratch, and that's not ideal for me. So that's her concern, which that's what I get when she's saying I'd have to work so hard. I get that. Yeah. Because she'd be starting over, essentially, if Bilal wasn't going to provide something monetarily to her if they did separate.
But maybe she's going to do it. She's going to say her lawyer will look over it. But maybe she can ask that Bilal can help her start her own studio, that she will,
Right.
that would be something
Put that
for
in a
her.
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like something to protect her.
Yeah.
Because that's what she wants. She
That's
also
all
wants
she
to
wants.
be considered, right?
That's all she wants.
Yeah.
The most infuriating part of this to me was when she's going, I don't like this idea of this contract. It doesn't really protect me. And Bilal goes, okay, let me ask you something. Let me throw out some questions. Do you ever plan on cheating on me?
What a moron.
Do you plan on divorcing me? And Sheida's like, no. And Bilal goes, then this right here doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what size font it is. Doesn't matter how thick this paper. It doesn't matter.
But it's also about you asshole.
Exactly. It is so what about you? Do you plan on cheating, Bilal? Does this protect you from cheating and leaving me with nothing? No, it's so one-sided. It's infuriating.
Well, I think all his previous wives, and we said he may have had another one, right?
Yeah.
I think they all left him.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if
I
Sheeda
think for
did
him,
too.
he thinks, I would never leave anyone. I'm the great husband.
Yeah.
But you may leave me.
Right. And that's a fair point, is he's been burned,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, once, if not twice before. And so that's all he's thinking about. So that's fair, right? But he's going about it in all the wrong ways. In all the wrong ways. And he goes, I get it. This isn't the sexiest conversation, but it needs to be had. I think he does find it sexy. I think.
Oh yeah. Oh, he loves all of this.
I think he does think a prenup is sexy because it makes him look wealthy. Like, oh, wealthy people have prenups, right?
I get. I
think
mean,
he does
not
think
just
it's
wealthy people, but I feel like people who make certain money and maybe
Yes.
people who get married later in life and have kids and have some sort of assets. You don't have to be a millionaire to do a prenup.
No, you
just
could
like
have
the way to
nothing.
protect. Yeah.
But I think it's mostly thought of as someone who's got a lot of money uses a prenup to protect themselves. So I think he likes that idea of, oh yeah, I got to protect all my generational wealth. I think he thinks it's sexy. Sheeda tells the camera, it just seems like he doesn't trust me. And
Because he doesn't.
he doesn't, clearly. This has all been tests of trust. And she feels like I'm paying the price for the things that have happened to Bilal in the past, which is basically what you said. So she just goes, I'm going to show my lawyer before I sign. And unless he puts things in this contract to protect me, I'm going to be going back to Trinidad.
As she should.
As she should. But let's play this out quickly. Is she not going to start from scratch immediately now if she goes back to Trinidad?
Say it again.
Her whole issue was if you don't put something in the contract to protect me, to provide for me, if I'm a stay-at-home mom and we divorce, I'll have nothing. And I'll have to start over from scratch because I got rid of my business in Trinidad, right? I don't have a place to live. So that's why I want something in the contract to protect me.
Yeah, and
So
that just makes sense.
It does. But if she goes back to Trinidad now, if Bilal refuses to put something in the contract now and she goes home, she's still starting from scratch. She doesn't have her business there. She doesn't have a place to live there. She's starting from scratch and there's nothing in a contract to help her.
She is, but I feel like if she sold, let's say she sold her business, right?
Yeah.
She must have the money somewhere, right? B, she's known in Trinidad. She can open a new studio and she would get her clients back.
You're so
it
smart.
wouldn't be that bad.
You're so smart,
but
Teresa.
if she was here for 10 years, right? They divorced. She ended up with nothing and went back to Trinidad 10 years without really practicing yoga or anything. People are going to forget about her in 10 years. They'll be like, oh, well, who
That's a good
this?
point. That's a good point.
So.
Okay. I'm glad I asked because that's a good answer.
I had to wrap my mind around. I was like, say it again.
I know. Your eyes were getting more squinty and squinty as I was talking. I was like, I'm clearly not doing a good job of explaining this, but you nailed it. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the most authentic couple this season, the realest storyline. This is a real love story and absolute just authentic couple. Jibri and Miona.
So sarcastic.
It's like 25 days to wed. Jibri is at home, still in that Aztec sweater. And he's going...
Saging.
He's going around saging.
saging.
He's going around saging. Okay? While his mom is just sitting there.
Because he's preparing the room for Miona to have a talk with Mahala.
Hashtag good vibes. Hashtag good vibes.
Literally.
Good
this
vibes
is the
only.
definition of good vibes.
Good vibes. And yeah, he wants Miona and Mahala to start bonding a little bit more, right? So Miona goes and sits down to talk to Mahala and says, we've been discussing wedding plans and we've actually decided to wait on the beach wedding.
Yes, but instead, so okay. She said they want to save money and have a big wedding with her family next year, which is great.
Yes.
I like that idea. But instead of the beach wedding,
They
want to get married at the Joshua Tree National Park, which, again, I love Joshua Tree. It's beautiful, but it's in California. You have to fly there. You have to rent a car. You have to do, it's going to cost you
You have to fly
money.
there and rent a car. Why not just drive there?
Because it's on the other side of the states.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, I guess they could
They could
drive.
take a week and drive over there.
Okay, so they can, let's say they can drive,
They have nothing else to do.
but still, that's far away for basically
An elopement, yeah.
an elopement, so you can have your big dream wedding next year. And I get the photos, like I've seen photos of a wedding from Joshua Tree.
Hashtag Joshua
And
Tree,
it's
yes.
gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie, it's beautiful. But is that really what you want to do? I don't
think
know.
so. It's a hot spot for influencers. It's exactly what they want to do.
I guess.
It's just for the gram. This entire wedding is just for the gram. You know it.
Yeah, I know.
Here's
I know.
Here's my question, and you've got the answers today, so I'll ask. Why isn't Jibri a part of this conversation? They need to present a united front. I get you want Mahala and Miona to bond, but you're talking about a very serious subject like our elopement. Why isn't Jibri sitting next to Miona? Let Miona talk if Miona wants to have the conversation, but Jibri, you should sit there as support.
Because I think he wants to talk to mom, but I mean, what am I saying? That he wants Miona to talk to his mom.
Yeah.
Alone. Because
Why?
he wants them to bond. I think Miona wants them to bond too.
I get it, but then go sit and have a glass of wine and talk about something else. This is a very big conversation. Present the united front, have it together.
Well, I also think that this is basically Miona showing mom that she does not influence Jibri in a bad way, that they talked about it and this is what they decided, and that Jibri is his own person. And
But then have Jibri there and Mahala could go, Jibri, is this what you want?
I'm with you.
It's almost like, you sit there, Jibri. I'm going to go talk to Mahala about this Joshua Tree wedding.
But yes, I agree with you, but that's not what happened.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not. What happened is Mahala's like, well, that sounds lovely. We'd love to be there. But because it's not in this state, and as Teresa said, we'd have to fly and rent a car and all that, we don't have enough notice. So we'll just plan on going to the one in a year.
To the big wedding.
To the big wedding. We'll go to that one when the whole family's there.
And on one hand, I'm going to say that I think it's fair for them not being there if there is actually going to be a big family wedding, because I would probably feel the same. I would feel like, okay, your parents are here, my parents cannot be here. Maybe it's just the two of us, aka the elopement.
Right, I wouldn't have been invited.
Yeah.
If there was going to be one, because then Miona's parents are going to feel like they're left out.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like if there were no plans for a big wedding, then I would be like, yeah, that sucks. Like his parents should come. But if they're planning a big wedding, saving the money, so Miona's parents can come too, then Mahala and Brian should not be at this elopement because it's only fair.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I would have just said, you know what, we're going to go
Change my mind.
What do you mean?
Talking to our friends if they have a different opinion.
Oh, yeah. No, I would have said, this is what we're going to go do. It's basically the legal ceremony. We're going to go to it in Joshua Tree because...
For the gram.
For the gram. But then we're going to do a big celebration with the whole family in a year and hope you guys can make it. So that's not what happens. They want them to come, but the parents don't want to come. So Mahala brings up the intervention, that dinner intervention, and how things were super tense. Mm-hmm. Wonders how things are going now.
They're going well.
Well, they are going well. Miona says it in so many words, but says, I'll let Jibri speak for himself.
Yeah, but she said Jibri doesn't want her to leave.
He doesn't want me to leave. And so Mahala's like, as long as you two feel this is a healthy, good decision, I'll support that.
Good.
So Miona finishes talking to Mahala, goes to talk to Jibri, and she's like, it went pretty well, actually. And Jibri goes, it was the sage.
I missed that. He said
it was the funniest part. It was the only time this episode like I really laughed because he was just like so serious. He was like, it was the sage. It was the sage. I'm so glad I got that sage subscription.
That's not what Mahala thinks, because she's telling Brian and Brian is like, what the fuck?
The editing here was brilliant. Chef's kiss, because they kept cutting back and forth between Jibri and Miona talking. So like husband and wife, and then cut to husband and wife, and just like the two sides of the story. Mm-hmm. It was I loved it. Right. So Jibri and Miona like, oh yeah, it went pretty well. Must have been the sage.
Yeah. And then Mahala's telling Brian about like, so there will be a small wedding now, and then there will be
at first Mahala goes, oh, they're postponing the big wedding. And Brian's like, oh, so she's going back to Serbia. And Mahala's like, let me finish.
Hold my beer.
Let me finish. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then she's like, there will be a small wedding and then the big beach wedding.
Beach wedding.
In a year. And Brian is like, it's bullshit.
It doesn't seem like a compromise to me. But that was his response.
Yeah. He said it's bullshit.
Well, he does. And he goes, I don't know a single person that supports this marriage. That's not true. Grandma Shane supported it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Grandma Shane was going to officiate last.
What's going to happen with that?
I could see Shane going to Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I can see her too.
Totally see Shane going to Joshua Tree.
And Mahala said she wants to be supported so the relationship with her and Jibri, or them and Jibri, doesn't get affected.
But Brian, all of a sudden Brian's got opinions. Like Brian like sat in his lazy boy recliner all season eating his hamburgers. And
what's a hamburger?
He was making his hamburger.
Okay.
All season, and now he's like, this is a train wreck. I don't want to support this train wreck. Like, did he just wake up? Like,
you just pissed Brian off.
He just woke up. It's unbelievable. He's so fired up now. And Mahal's like, well, I don't know. Just I don't want to say too much. I want to try to be supportive. I don't want to let this affect our relationship with Jibri.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Are we getting a Joshua J Tree wedding this season?
What?
Joshua Tree.
Okay.
Terrible U2 album.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they will make it there, because I feel like they also are not the best at planning and shit. So
no, we'll see.
Let's talk about
the
final couple. You will get it done.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
I don't think they will get it done.
Mohamed and Eve.
Before we talk about Mohamed and Eve, somebody call in with the name of this Justin Bieber stock music ripoff that was playing at the open of this segment.
What?
It was a banger of a stock music track. It was like, it's your body I'm exploring. You show me around just like a tourist. I was like, JP, is that Justin Bieber on the track right now?
I missed that.
Fire song.
I missed that.
Fire song. It's your body I'm exploring. I was like, God damn.
I'll tell you what. If immigration's watching, Mohamed's so screwed.
He's a moron now.
He's a moron. He's still a moron. 45 days to wed.
Yes.
Eve found a new venue, so they're gonna look at it. It's a fake castle.
I don't know what it is.
It looks ridiculous. I would not want to get married there.
Okay.
What is it gonna be, a medieval wedding?
Yes, medieval times. So they get to this venue and they're in the car and Eve just starts bawling, crying.
Excited for the castle.
Tell me you're just in this for the wedding without telling me you're just in this for the wedding. You've shown zero emotion like this for Mohamed. Even when Mohamed got off the plane, you weren't this excited. Now you see your dream wedding venue and now you're in tears because all you want, you're in love with the idea of the wedding. You're not in love with the idea of marriage.
I think she is in love with the idea of Mohamed, not with Mohamed himself.
With the concept of Mohamed.
Like a young dude just, being with her, marrying her at the castle, that whole thing.
Yeah. So she's in love with this idea. Mohamed's in love with the idea of adjusting his status.
Yes, because he's not thrilled about pushing this wedding for this castle.
No.
And he just wants to get it over with and apply for the green card.
Did you hear Eve when she walked into the venue? They've been spending a lot of time together. She walks in.
She said, "Oh my God.
I know.
I was thinking that too.
I could have. It was like, this is wild. Now she's talking like him.
Too much time.
I'm so glad you picked up on that.
Imagine if they do get married in a couple of years.
Yeah. They should have a.
He's gonna talk like Mohamed.
They should have a podcast. I would listen to it. It'd be very soothing.
And she's loving the castle when they walk in. She's like, I get to marry my king in a castle.
King of the castle. She sounds like Borat. She's like a mix between Borat and Jibri and Miona. It's like, yo, you're my king. You want a queen wedding? Very nice.
Oh.
Mohamed not excited about this place though.
No.
Because
he's not excited about a wedding.
Because
period.
it's delaying the status. Yes. And so Eve starts talking about the ceremony and she's like, I want to have my friends do it. They're ordained, so it's not a specific religion. And Mohamed's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking we can get married in a mosque and we could do it sooner.
Because all he wants, like, honestly, now I don't think he's in it for Eve at all. I don't think there's even a part of him that wants to be there for Eve. I think he just wants the adjustment of status.
Eve, as you put it so eloquently last episode, is not a wife to him or a fiance to him. She's a sponsor.
Yeah,
That's all he cares about.
absolutely.
He's like, I don't need all of this for a sponsor. We could just go to the courthouse.
And yeah, so that's the venue. And then we see them back home. And again, this was weird because Mohamed was texting her while being in the room next to her. And his text was like, so I think you're so busy to do my paperwork for, wait, what?
I wrote it down.
Okay, so I was really tired because this
So I think if you're so busy to do your paperwork for me, maybe we can find another sponsor. Because this time is from my life.
Yes.
Two exclamation
yes,
points.
from my life, yes.
Yeah, it didn't totally make sense. I wrote it down word for word, I think. And he goes, I need to be able to work and have a normal life in this country.
Yes, aka goodbye, Eve.
Again,
hello, green card.
This is all a text, not even a FaceTime. He didn't even Skype her from the room. This is all through text. And so Eve gets up, goes into the kitchen. It's like, why are you sending
Yeah,
me
why are you
this?
texting me, dude?
Well, first of all, why are you texting me? Second of all, what is this talk about finding another sponsor?
Like, yeah.
I'm your petitioner. We have to get married and then we can do paperwork.
She is the sponsor.
Yes.
Like,
She's
sponsor, and I don't think Mohamed has any special skill or badass degree that's needed in the United States to get a work sponsor. So,
well, even if he could, I don't think immigration is going to look at his case and go, well, he came on a K-1, but that's null and void now because
Yeah,
they're
no,
separated.
he couldn't. He would
you'd
have
have
to
to
go
go
back.
home
Yeah.
and reapply, and that's not going to fly. It's clearly going to send all sorts of red
Yeah.
flags that he's just trying to be in America.
yeah, for sure.
So Mohammed's like, okay, well, you're my sponsor. Let's get married. And he's like, we are. Hello. That's what we're trying to do. We are trying to get married, just not fast enough for you. And the whole time, it seems like Mohamed thought they were going to get married on day one. Mm-hmm. It's called 90 Day Fiance. You have 90 days to get married. He thought like, well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
We should do it now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so tired of waiting for my papers.
Right. You haven't even applied for the papers yet. You got to get married first. And
Yeah.
so Eve starts crying again and says, we're not going to do a courthouse wedding. If you cared about me, you wouldn't stress out like this. And Mohamed goes, getting married has nothing to do with a wedding. You're being selfish. Which is sort of right. The wedding is separate from the legal marriage contract.
True, but what he's doing is fucked up.
It's insane. And here's where I realized, it was in this segment of this episode right here. They haven't had one romantic, one enjoyable, they haven't had one nice moment this entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Even Bilal and Sheeda had like the yoga in the backyard.
That's true.
Like that was a nice, even they had one nice moment.
Mm-hmm. That's
Mohamed
very
and
true.
Eve, not one.
And then Eve feels replaceable, which I get it.
He basically just said,
Yeah.
I'm trying to replace you.
Yeah. And Mohamed said that he has other dreams in this country. And he goes like, if I can't, I'll go back to Egypt. Just go. Go back to Egypt.
He wants to stay in America. Clearly, that is his number one and only priority.
Well, it is, but like Eva goes like, so go. Do you think they'll make it to the altar?
I don't see how they can.
Me neither. But Danielle and Mohamed also made it.
I guess I don't see how immigration could see this and go, okay, he's here for the right reasons.
I'm like curious. Does anyone who works at the immigration watch this show? They must.
I would. If you're,
Right?
Or maybe you're just so sick of it. It's
Yeah.
like how people who work at a restaurant can't eat that food because they're just like so sick of it.
Yeah.
If you work in immigration, you're so sick
True.
of these types of stories. But it's insanity. And the craziest part is they're having this heated conversation. First of all, they're not talking to each other like lovers or even friends. Like it's like strangers communicating.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's a heated debate kind of. Mohamed can't raise his voice. He physically cannot. He can raise the pitch of it. It can get high, but the volume stays the same no matter how upset or frustrated or angry he gets.
For the best.
I know, but it's almost scarier that he can raise his voice.
Well, we'll see. It's almost reminded me of a mother-son conversation when the son got grounded.
Threatens to run away from home. He's like threatening.
Totally pissed.
He goes, get me a ticket, please. And he leaves. He's like threatening to run away from home.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen with these lovebirds.
No, not at all. Okay. That's the episode. Woo! What an episode.
That was a great episode.
It was a good episode. Again, we watched it 30,000 feet in the air. So if we got some things wrong, well, maybe there was turbulence.
Some of my notes were a little weird, but
I think we got through it.
I hope so.
We hope you guys enjoyed the pod. Make sure you're following the podcast wherever you are listening, whether it's Apple or Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. It's so easy to follow the podcast. You look down, you smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as us being back.
It is hot. It's Florida.
It is.
It's hot. Make sure you're following the podcast on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. That's where we keep you updated on all things Married to Reality.
Oh.
Get on the Patreon, guys. If you're not, thank you. If you are, patreon.com/Married to Reality. There are a bunch of video podcasts about to be dropped on the Family Affair level. That's the highest level. And if you just want to listen to the Seeking Sister Wife podcast, that's the Cousins Club level.
It is the Cousins Club, yes.
Patreon.com/Married to Reality. Thank you for everyone who signed up so far. And thank you again for the reviews. If you haven't sent one in, you know we'd love when you do. So a special thank you to Judas. Thanks for coming over. It's me, Judas. We love that you're here. We love that you're hooked.
Thank you. It's me, Judith. It's me, Teresa. And thank you.
And it's me, John.
From the bottom of my heart.
Oh, it's a big heart.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. That is it. I have said it all. Have you said it all?
I've said it all.
All right. That means we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.